So this is a really weird story. We're going to hop over in just a moment to the Epic Times to take a look at their write-up on this story. But before we do, let me mention the video that's linked in the article. So there is a video of this occurrence. I'm not going to play it on my in this video though. And you don't really need to see it anyways. The article paints a clear picture of what occurred. The video is a little bit difficult to understand what's going on, and to be quite honest, it's only 59 seconds long. All the text is in Chinese, so you can't even really see what the news report is all about in that video. In the video, you basically just see one dog off a leash going up to another dog and being a bit aggressive to it as the owner picks their dog up and keeps it safe from the aggressor dog, so to speak. That's all it is in the video for 59 seconds, but the article provides us with a lot more detail. So let's get into this story. Again, this is going to be a bit of an odd one, no surprise. Taking it from the top, article reads, man suspected of unleashing dogs to attack pets, owner's video. So ignore the owner's video part. But yeah, this guy is suspected of unleashing his dogs to attack pets. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's take a look. A man was detained after being suspected of allowing his dogs to run off their leash and attack other people and their dogs, according to Chinese online news outlet K News. The two dogs owned by the suspect have been taken to an animal shelter, and the owner's license to own the dogs has been revoked. Individuals in China are required to have such licenses to own dogs. The victim, surnamed Xu, along with two other family members and their dogs, suffered injuries from the attack on August 15th in Shanghai. The suspect, surnamed Wang, hid his dogs in a different province after the attack, according to the August 22nd report from K News. Hold on a second. After the attack, he hid his dogs in a different province. What? That's a bit ridiculous. This whole story is really weird. It's a really weird one. Let's talk about dogs being off leash for a second before we continue. I was a dog owner. Unfortunately, he passed away last year. Rest in peace, my friend. He was a great dog. I love dogs. I love animals. One thing that always upset me, though, walking my dog, because I've always lived in apartment complexes here in LA. People who walk their dogs off leash, that always upsets me. Now, listen, I don't know what the circumstances are where you live. Maybe it's different. But here, where I live and the places I've lived, my gosh, if you have a dog off leash, it is such a bad idea. For example, one apartment complex I lived in, the only way to get up and down was really the elevators. And especially if you have a dog, you can't be taking them down the stairs, 3 flights of stairs and all that. It's not good on their joints. So everyone would take the elevators. And it would baffle me that some people would actually have their dogs off leash while they're waiting for the elevator and taking the elevator and in the elevator. Such a bad idea. I mean, my dog was part German Shepherd. And if some dog came running up to him to start smack and that dog was off the leash, there would absolutely be a big fight. Big fight would happen. And especially with those elevators, man, the doors would just open. And if there's 2 dogs and one of them's off leash or both of them are, it's such a problem. Elevator doors open, all of a sudden a dog fight because one dog's waiting there, one's in the elevator, they get spooked, they start fighting. And all you have to do is keep your dog on a leash. And let me again emphasize, maybe this is different where you live. Maybe there are differences in the layout of the apartment or whatever. I don't want to be talking smack on a bunch of people. I'm just sharing my opinion with things that I've had occur to me. So throughout the years, man, I would be walking my dog, and while most people would have their dogs on a leash, there'd be a recurring theme where I would see some people not having their dogs on a leash. And usually they would be small dogs, as if that makes it better. It doesn't make it better, but I will say a big dog being off leash is even worse. And I would see that sometimes full-grown big dogs, and these people wouldn't have them on a leash. And you know what? There was one time this big dog, different apartment complex now, I was taking my boy for a walk. He was doing his business. This big dog comes around the corner, no leash, runs right up to my dog. And luckily, my dog scared him away. They didn't get in a fight or anything. But, I had to pull my dog back. I had to kind of... And here's the other thing, too. So that story was uneventful. No fight really happened. It was just annoying. But over the years, I would get so annoyed with these people, man. I went from, this is progressing years and years and years, right? At first, I would try to get in the middle of the 2 dogs and break up the fight. I would risk myself by doing that. And you know what's really annoying too? Routinely, I would notice that these people who have their dogs off the leash take all the time in the world to get their dog. I've had dogs run up to my dog, and try to fight him, attack him, and their owner's like taking their sweet time walking, and I'll literally be yelling and start cussing, saying like, get your effing dog on a leash, or, you know, break up this fight, and the owner's just casually walking. Meanwhile, these two dogs are going at it, and I'm in the middle. Luckily, somehow, I never actually got hurt. That's crazy. Somehow I never got hurt. The dogs were always paying attention to each other. But my gosh, man, I got so annoyed with this. I'm a huge animal lover. I am. I love dogs, but I love animals in general. But it got so bad over the years that I started to become let me explain this. My dog would get older too, and his health was getting worse and worse and worse. It would start declining. And still, these people would have their dogs off the leash. And it got to the point where my dog, even if he was way bigger, he just doesn't want that nonsense, man. He wouldn't even defend himself anymore because he was just getting old and tired. And he doesn't want this crap in his life. And these people would just let their dogs run up and just basically let their dogs chew on my dog and, like I said, take their sweet time. So as this progressed longer and longer and longer and my dog got older, I started to lose my temper with this stuff, man. I went from being the guy to try to break up the fight, situation resolved peacefully for both sides, to only caring about my dog, which is crazy because I'm an animal lover. Even if a dog is like going after my dog, I'll feel bad for the other dog too, because it's really the owner's fault for not having it on a leash. But it got so bad and so consistent that I had to really only be concerned for my boy and his health. And, you know, take of that what you will. I'm not going to say what I may have done or not done in these situations, but just know that my concern shifted from getting both dogs out of the situation okay to only protecting my dog and being sure that he was okay, because that's some bullshit. Okay, that rant aside, let's get back to the article. I had to voice that opinion. It really bugs me when people don't have their dog on a leash. It's such an easy thing to do. You just put it on a leash, you're all good. And these people are so lazy, they just won't do it, even when it risks their dog, you know, potentially getting in a fight, and then that dog needs to be put down or something because of that. And there's medical bills. Like, oh my God, all you got to do is put on a leash. What's wrong with you people? Anyways, let's get to the article. I'm sorry about that. Continuing on. I guess we'll scroll down. So here's the video. Actually, did we finish this yet? The victim, surname Shu. Oh yeah, we read that. So there's the video we're not going to watch. I already watched it. I already explained to you what that's all about. Not missing much. A video shows the elderly Shu walking a small white-furred dog out of his housing community, when suddenly he yanks the dog off the ground by the leash behind him, and my scroll wheel's being annoying again. That's the only thing about this website. It's laggy for some reason. Sorry about that. Behind him, a small dog leaps at Shu's dog repeatedly, biting at the rear of Shu's pet. The likely ruckus caused by the attack drew attention of all the people nearby, while a security camera recorded their reaction. All the while, the suspect Wang, dressed in a black shirt and khaki pants, walked briskly over to the scene. That's more than I can say about the people that I've seen over here. Walking briskly, these people will barely even walk at a pace faster than the snail's pace, man. A woman in black runs into view of the camera, carrying her dog that was attacked, while the dog that started the attack chases her and leaps up, biting onto her right arm. Another of Wang's dogs, which looks like a golden retriever, follows behind, focusing more on the dog carrying out the attack. Wang appears to try to stop the dogs, but acts slowly. Eventually, he gets the smaller dog under control, while the bigger dog is still jumping around him. While carrying the smaller dog, the bigger dog once more goes to harass Shu's family. After the big dog calms down again, Shu begins to walk away with his two dogs, but once they get a distance from the scene, he puts down the smaller dog. The smaller dog immediately turns and rushes back to the group of people where the initial attack happened. The bigger dog follows behind once more as they charge towards the people. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, oh my gosh. And you know, this is China, so maybe there's some cultural differences. I don't know if it's required to have a dog on the leash in China as it is where I lived here in LA. But I'm assuming it is, because they talk about needing to get a license to even have a dog, so they probably take this stuff pretty seriously. So I'm assuming the dog should be on a leash. And, well, that's clearly not what happened. Shu and his two family members were injured in the attack, along with their own dog. However, the report did not include details about injuries sustained. After the attack, Wang allegedly hid his dogs in Yangzhou. I think it's Yangzhou, honestly. Nah, but let's go with Yangzhou. Yangzhou City in the neighboring Jiangsu province, according to K News. Police brought the dogs back to Shanghai, where they were placed into a shelter, and Wang's permits for owning the dogs were revoked. Wow. Okay. So I must have read this wrong in the beginning. I was mixing up Wang with Shu. I thought it said that Shu had hit his dogs after, not Wang. That's my fault. So Wang, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with that. Because if Wang was just walking his dogs without a leash and letting them get in fights, and then after a fight already happened, like shortly after he lets the other dog go and it happens all over again, it seems like he doesn't really care. But then to hide the dogs, it kind of seems like he does care. So I don't even know. This is a very weird story. Very strange person here. Police charged Wang with intentionally releasing his dogs to attack people and detained him for an unreported amount of time. Wow. So that's the story, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Was this guy really just training his dogs to like go around and attack people, and then like he would do this for fun or something, walk around China and just like let the dog go and they'd get in a fight? Seems kind of unlikely, but with the crazy stories we've been reading, I guess it's possible. I don't know. I don't know what to make of the story. I really don't. But let me know what you think about this story. Really, there's two possibilities. Do you think this was a huge accident and Mr. Wang just forgot to put his dogs on a leash or something and he didn't mean for that to happen? I guess three possibilities. Hold up. Let me present three possibilities. Possibility number one, Wang doesn't really care about his dogs, never really walks them on a leash, and this was kind of destined to happen at some point. Option number two, Wang does care about his dogs. It was kind of an accident that he didn't have the leash that time for some reason, whatever happened, and this whole thing was an accident. Or number three, this dude is really... This is the one that the police came up with, and the article, claims to be the case. So this might really be what's true. I just find it so hard to believe that this is really the case. But number three, do you think that this guy, Mr. Wang, was really like taking his dogs around the streets and like trying to get them to attack other pets? Do you think this dude was on leash? As the article puts, man suspected of unleashing dogs to attack pets, owner's video. And the title says suspected, but the end of the article said he was charged, right? It literally says at the end of the article, police charged Wang with intentionally releasing his dogs to attack people and detained him for an unreported amount of time. Do you think that's the case? That's so crazy, man. I don't even know. That's the end of this video, though. If you enjoyed this video, if you had fun, and hopefully my rant at the beginning didn't annoy anybody, I'm really sorry if it did. Guys, that sort of thing's been bugging me for so long. I haven't even had my dog for going on a year and a half, and that still gets me heated to think about that. The other thing I didn't even mention, if you made it this far, I'll give you this information too. Towards the end, my dog started to have problems breathing with his chest and stuff. So like if a dog started to attack my dog, I couldn't just pull my dog away with the leash because my dog would be in pain. Why should my dog suffer because this other person doesn't have their dog on a leash? Why should my poor old boy, who has been such a kind friend to me, why should he suffer because I need to pull him away? And he's already in pain, dude. Like that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So, all right, let's move on from this. Let's move on from this, guys. I'm sorry. Shouts out for the video, the WoW video. Lancaster Kid, Anime Tony, Mr. Anime 343, thank you very much for promoting that video. And for the Vic video, the Christopher Sabat one, shouts out to JMute2, Max, the Lancaster Kid, Fritz VA, Crispy No Ken, Samantha Miu, Mr. Anime 343, Jago, hashtag I stand with Vic, Random Fandom, Verthica Frost Scale, Charza Kitsune, and Hyperion, and Skelekitty. There we go. So that's for the last two videos there. Was a bit rambly in this one. I'm gonna say sorry again now. If you guys have a dog, you guys know how it is. Maybe not. But I hope you enjoy your time with your dog. I hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you